Hello, and welcome to my first ever YouTube video. I was struggling for the longest time to come up with what my first video's content should be. Not because I didn't have any ideas for it, but more of because I had too many. After picking through each and every one of them, I decided a speed draw and story time. But for this story time, it being about the first experience I had with a pinata. For context, my sister and I are 2 years apart, me being the younger of us two. My sister and I would always share a birthday party growing up, mainly because it was cheaper for our family that way. Plus, all of her friends were also my friends. For this particular birthday party, my mom wanted it to be a little bit more special for the both of us. So she let us pick our own pinatas right before the party started. In my mind, I was thinking, oh yay! I get to have a new toy that's large and fancy. We can go on all of the adventures, and I get to show it off to all my friends at the birthday party. As you may be able to tell, I had no idea what a pinata was for, but that didn't stop me from being excited. My sister picked out a unicorn as I picked out a plain brown horse. After getting the pinatas home, we prepared for the horde of kindergartners. My mom took care to stuff the pinatas in another room, as my sister and I cleaned the house before the guests came over. When they did all arrive, we were all playing upstairs just being delightful kids. But due to it being a Wyoming winter, my mom thought it would be better for us to break the pinata inside. If you don't know what Wyoming winter is like, then be thankful. It's cold, it's snowy, and it's deep. I'm not joking when I say I've been snowed into my house for 3 days on several occasions. With all these little girls being inside, it was probably not a good idea to give them a bat to swing around the house. So instead my mom brought out my sister's unicorn pinata and said, "Have at it." I was just walking into the room when all I saw was these little girls' heads whip around as their eyes turned feral. They jumped onto the unicorn's back, ripping and clawing it. One of our friends ripped off a leg and started to beat the unicorn with it. And since my sister couldn't rip off a leg for herself, her same friend went, "I've got you," and ripped off another leg to hand to my sister. A different friend grabbed 2 sides of the head and twisted until it popped off. That was when everyone found out where the candy was. Meanwhile, I'm still standing in the doorway and looking mortified. I just watched carnage and a bunch of little girls wearing the unicorn's head as a hat, all of which dug into I don't think it was even candy at this point. In my horror, for the rest of the party, I stayed downstairs clinging onto my pinata trying to protect it from the horde of gremlins upstairs. I kept that brown horse pinata for so long that the glue started to fail and the paper fell off. To this day, I can't look at a pinata without thinking of that poor unicorn. Not to say at this point in my life, I wouldn't partake in the carnage. But now I can look back on the memory and laugh to myself about it. I guess that the moral of the story could be, tell your kids what happened to pinatas before you get their first one. But yeah, even now in my life, my friends and I still bring it up. In fact, one of our friends just recently got married and we were joking with each other of reenacting the carnage of the unicorn for her bridal party. But instead, we just decided the most inappropriate way to hold a wine glass. None of us were drinking, but we decided that all fingers in around the brim and tilting it with your hands facing your face was the complete wrong way to hold the said wine glass. We all still laughed and had so much fun, even if we didn't get a unicorn pinata to completely rip its head off and wear it like a tiara for the rest of the night. But I'm glad that each one of us can still hold the memory of still carnage and fun delight in our adult years. It's important to be able to hold on to those kind of memories. That way, when you have a tough day, they just make you smile. Looking back on those kinds of things, it makes me wonder what would happen if I were to get a pinata today. I'm still fairly certain that I would also try to go savage on it, but just to also remember to be a kid. Hence why I drew this character ripping off the head of a pinata. And I'm fairly certain that these were the exact colors of that poor unicorn all those years ago. I'm really happy with how it's turning out, and I can, now looking upon the video footage, see multiple different things, but I think that comes with artist brain. Yay! Artist brain! Why do you do this to me? But it gives me the expression of creativity, so yay! Please let me know if you liked my story, or if you have one similar to it. Comment it down below so I could read it. And don't forget to like and subscribe. If you also want to support me, I have a Patreon where you can go see sneak peeks and progress pictures, or even upcoming videos. I've got a lot more story times that I've been thinking about making, and big plans coming up here shortly. But until then, have a blessed day. I'm definitely going to turn this into a sticker.